Hi, I'm Karen Cator, and I'm the President and CEO of Digital Promise. Digital Promise is a congressionally authorized nonprofit organization with the big mission to spur innovation in order to improve the opportunity to learn for all Americans. The way that we're looking at this is improving the opportunity to learn through technology and research. So technology, how does technology improve the opportunity to learn? We've looked a lot at the kinds of things that people can use technology for, the kinds of learning that takes place when people have technology close by or in their hands. Okay, so there are multiple ways that technology can help people learn. So first, if you think about the entire internet. So if you go all the way back to the beginning of humankind, people have always learned from other people. And the ability to learn through storytelling, through explanation, through demonstration, and that kind of thing, that's always been available. When the printing press came around, now we could learn also from books. If in fact you could learn to read, you now could still learn from people and also learn from books. And now we have the internet, so you still can learn from people, the people around you, and the people online. You can also still learn from books, either books in print form or books in digital form. And now this entirely new world of the internet that includes things like explanations of complex concepts, visualizations of big data sets, the kinds of feedback loops that you can get when you work through problem sets, worked problems. You can get physics explanations and physics simulations. You can get all sorts of things on everything from how to change a faucet to quantum physics and whatever else you want to dream up, how to plant a garden, whatever. One of my favorite examples along these lines is you can, with your classroom of second graders, go out into the schoolyard and collect bugs. And there's some place that you can send them to, it's an electron scanning microscope, and it's called BugScope. You can send your bugs to the University of Chicago. They will put your bugs on the electron scanning microscope and talk to you about the bugs from your schoolyard. So the students can in fact interact with the scientists that are running this microscope. Those are the kinds of things you could not do prior to the internet. So the affordances of technology are tremendous, and we need to keep that in mind when we start to ask questions about should we use technology, should we not use technology. So here's another example. I know a student who is taking chemistry. So every day he's a very good student. He goes to chemistry class. He does his homework. He does his work. He interacts with the teacher. But what he also does is he goes home and he has his favorite online chemistry teacher that he also follows and watches explain and work through the same kinds of concepts. So again, the ability for people to empower their own learning by having access to the internet is really, really important. If we think about it now, the internet is one. Also, access to professional tools. So when you think about every fifth grader can now have access to the same search engines as Bill Gates. They can work through the same professional tools, the same word processing tools. They can use the same music composition tools as professional musicians use. So this notion that anybody can have in their hands professional tools if they have access to technology, that's kind of the second thing. So access to the internet is really important. Access to professional tools is really important. And then the third layer, or another layer I should say, another layer, are then all of the apps and interactive environments that are springing up that work people through maybe games and complex strategy and thinking, maybe through math problems, maybe a design challenge. All of the apps that are springing up tremendously support people's learning as well. There are creativity apps, photography apps, all sorts of things that augment people's ability to learn. So if you are thinking about this and you're thinking about, well, what's the role of the teacher? That's a really great question, because the role of the teacher is actually augmented. It's lifted up when the students in her class or his class have access to the technology. They are lifted up. They now can personalize the instruction. They can work individually with groups and teams. They can get people going on lots of different kinds of things because they have access to the technology. So it's a support in a classroom. It does not replace the teacher. It augments teacher performance, and it helps students fully help themselves within their learning environment. So if you're a teacher and you're trying to figure out, so how do I really think about this? It's been very complicated. My school doesn't necessarily have a lot of supports. I would say fully enlist your classroom, fully enlist your students. Have them help figure out, have them analyze when and where technology is good for their own learning. Figure out what are the kinds of things that can help you as a teacher. How is your performance buoyed up by having access to technology? There are so many complexities associated with this, and we totally understand this. There's a famous leader that I appreciate named Max Dupree. He wrote a book, Leadership as an Art, and in there he said, I couldn't give a fig for simplicity on this side of complexity, but I give my life for simplicity on the other side of complexity. That's really important. So what we at Digital Promise are trying to do is analyze the complexity, all of the things associated with making sure that a rollout and working with technology in schools, we understand the complexity, but then we begin to get on the other side of that and simplify it and create guidelines and guidebooks and how-tos and some strategies that you can use and reuse, make better, republish, share with others. Good luck.